Hello you, welcome to Geekism and welcome back to Planet Zoo. It's been a little while since we've played this game. I went sort of a bit more in depth as to why it's not been on the channel for a little while in a community post yesterday, so head back over there if you want to see a little bit about what's been going on. But basically I got myself really burnt out with this game over Christmas. Not necessarily the game's fault, although, you know, it did have a few little issues that I think may have started to be ironed out by now. But yeah, basically I just played it way too much, had too many series going on. I felt bloated, I felt overworked, and I felt not creative in the slightest. So I've decided to strip it all back. Everything's gone onto the back burner. It's not done necessarily. I would really like to go back to Nina Kanata at one point. I'd really like to go back to Zoo School. But for now, I just want to come in and I just want to play a little bit of Planet Zoo. So we're going back to the beginning. We're going back to what we do well here on Geekism. Budget, chilled out, sort of, you know, low theming kind of places. Basically, this is going to be Pinewood Hills, the zoo is what we're kind of going for here. Okay, so yeah, thanks to everyone who's stuck by me while we've had this little bit of a drought. I know a lot of people are here for Planet Zoo specifically, and that's great. If you're still here, hopefully you enjoy this. But yeah, we're just going to strip it back and just kind of have some fun with it. The other main difference I'm going to be doing is no time-lapse, okay? A few people, S-Dan Wolf, Mass Bandit, they've both sort of taken this on and sort of pushed me towards it a little bit as well. Time-lapse, building for time-lapse means that you're constantly recording while you're building. And if you need to have a break, you need to have a little think, you need to go and get a drink or whatever, you've got to stop recording. It puts quite a lot of pressure on you, actually, and I've tried making it, tried doing it this way, and it works a lot nicer. So instead of time-lapse, it's basically, I'm going to be sort of jumping in every sort of 30 minutes, half an hour, or whenever something is done, and showing you progress, and that way there's a lot of weight lifted off me when I'm sort of building, and we get on much better with it. Okay, so anyway, enough rambling. We're a couple of minutes in now, so let's get something built. Humble beginnings are very much a work in progress, but one thing I really want to show in this zoo is the juxtaposition of the old and the new, showing a zoo in a state of flux like so many city or budget zoos are. They never have the budget to completely fix everything that they have that they consider no longer suitable, and they're always having to do new bits, and by the time the last bit's done, the first bit's got to get redone. The whole what is it, the bridge that always gets painted or something? It's a bit of a myth, I think, isn't it? But yeah, there's always something to be fixed, and that's something I really wanted to get across here, the old and the new side by side, quite literally here with the entrance. So here we've got the original zoo entrance, a brick and concrete build with beautiful wrought iron gates that is no longer used as an entrance. Now actually I'm going to have it to be an exit, so it's going to be a way that this will get open up halfway through the day, I suppose, and people can exit this way. But here then we have the actual entrance that is both bigger and made for larger crowds, but also just made with the concept of crowd dynamic being a thing, that, you know, because years ago people just kind of wandered through, whereas now you have to kind of think about how people flow through buildings and structures and things like that. So here we've got what will become bag areas, check-in bag areas here, and we've got 3 or 4 different ones, and then we have one for wheelchair access there as well, and then we're going to have a separate ticket boothing system set back somewhere like this. And the idea will have been that originally this would have just been sort of a little bit more car park, or maybe just some sort of wooded area that they've then sort of added on to the side of the original entrance there. So here is going to be looking at the entrance of the zoo here, with the older entrance there acting as either like a group entrance maybe, or just as an exit. This concrete's all placeholder. Going to go for quite a modern yet not too high budget style. You can see that we've got with the wood here. There's going to be lots of wood, lots of natural materials as much as possible, but still done in a relatively plain and sort of simplistic style. And then we've got some planters here that will act as sort of a nice draw into the area, but then also as a bit of a barrier in between the main entrance and the exit area there as well. But I really wanted to sort of get that sort of harsh juxtaposition between the two spaces. Let's go and do a bit of work on these big concrete blocks. I've done a bit of work on the modern building here. Again, still not finished, it's still a bit bare bones. There'll probably be some sort of advertising displays and things like that. And of course we need a name for the zoo, which I don't have yet. I thought I'd throw that one out to you. Although I did say this is going to be a sort of Pinewood Hills-esque Zoo. I don't want it to be Pinewood Zoo. So yeah, answers on a postcode, or actually just put them in the comments would probably be better, wouldn't it? Also done a little bit of work here to the exit plaza. Again, kind of want to make this look like this used to be the way in, but now this is too thin and there's going to be crowding issues and stuff like that. So but this is now just a nice sort of relatively placid walk out of the place. There's a bit of chain there that I thought about using and decided against. So that's that done. The last thing I want to do in this episode, as my dog flops around behind me, is do the entrance plaza, the floor at least of the plaza, because here I actually quite like the herringbone brick. I think that fits nicely with the copper, fits nicely with the style and the sort of age of that. But here it's obviously no good, and I don't think a regular sort of path will be very good as well. So I want to concrete all of this and have it a sort of open concrete space. And maybe do something nice in the floor, like a design pattern on the floor. So that's the last thing I want to try and do here in episode 1. No animals. I think that should be should be relatively expected here at Geekism. The animals aren't the focus at all, in the same way that it took us about 6 episodes to do a roller coaster in Planet Coaster, I think. We will get to animals further in here, obviously, but for now I just kind of really like the idea of this sort of juxtaposition of the old and the new next to each other. And again, it looks it does look a little silly just being like, here's the old bit, here's the new bit, but once we've got the sort of original plaza here and then the obvious sort of expansion from this new build, I think it'll all start to make a little bit more sense. But I just definitely wanted to try and get this down as a sort of palette for the rest of the build, as a sort of concept art almost for the rest of the shape. But yeah, next thing I want to do is get some sort of poured concrete pattern here in the ground. And there we go. I'm really quite happy with how this has turned out. It's gone for a bit of almost like a DNA kind of feel, but then using some of the signage here, that's plants and stuff, just sort of sunk those right down, and they're a little shiny, but I think that kind of works. It almost looks like they hold the water a little bit and the rest is slightly porous. I don't know. And then we've got some animals here sort of working their way up. And I just think from far out, that's just a really cool way of breaking up that large concrete path, and looks very modern compared to the relatively sort of forced cross there of the old-fashioned original entrance. And like I say, I think this is a really good sort of little smorgasbord, little sort of palette of what we're going to be moving on with. So eventually this will come down into car park and some green space, and then we'll go into a larger plaza area here with maybe like a newer gift shop on one side, and then probably some old-fashioned style animal viewing on the right there, which we'll get into in the next episode. You'll notice this one's probably a little shorter than they used to be. I'm not going to try and do a load in each episode. Some animal habitats may take 2 episodes, may even take 3 episodes. I'm not rushing myself with this one. I'm happy to be playing Planet Zoo, and hopefully the reason you're watching me play Planet Zoo is because you're looking for little sort of design ideas and stuff like that. So we're not necessarily going to be having huge grand builds each episode, but just little things that you can take away. For instance, I think that's really quite a neat floor pattern there. I don't think I've seen anyone do that before. If you could just take that away from this episode, then that I think is a win for me. But yes, looking for names, so let me know names of the park, names of the zoo down below. And yeah, maybe suggestions for first animals as well, because I'm pretty open. Obviously, we're going to have something simple here. I'm basing some of the stuff I'm going to be doing on this a little bit on Twycross Zoo, because that was a zoo I've recently visited back in the UK. We went to Twycross and Chester Zoo while I was back in the UK. Got lots of reference photos, just in case the Planet Zoo bug bit me again, which it looks like it has. And they have lots of sort of smaller animals going in. Twycross, you hit meerkats right as you get in there. Something I'd love to see in the game, but then also they have a snow leopard here on the right in an indoor habitat, so you really can mix it up. But yeah, any suggestions of what you'd like to see, let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Until the next one, be good.